Welalio, Weldasia, Wigumio, Nigela Giskuga, Miwadam, Dandelia, Agnodmadulti. As Sabina said, I'm a hereditary chief because my ancestor, Michael Augustine, signed a treaty of peace and friendship on March 10, 1760 in Halifax. So hereditary, I say, and we speak about racism today. And I do believe that racism is inherent. It's inherently being passed down by generations of people who have that kind of a mindset. Racism is hereditary. In Europe, there have been attitudes of superiority by certain societies. And we look at the culture and society that came to North America. There was a lot of anguish, a lot of anger, a lot of conflict between French and English cultures. There was also colonization taking place in Ireland and Scotland, Wales. And so when the British arrived in Canada, they had a superior attitude towards Indigenous peoples. And so they saw us in the way in terms of us occupying the land that they had wanted to turn into a property, private property. Resources that come from the lands were becoming under control. And Indigenous people happened to be in the way. And these European societies also had a history of enslaving certain peoples, especially from Africa. And during the conflicts, a lot of the attitudes of superiority and racism were sparked and were committed during heights of anguish and anger and during war against each culture and society. So we have a history of this in North America. The English first arrived here and were at war with the French. And then at some point in time, the French were expelled out of here, about 15 to 18,000 of them. And then the British brothers and sisters south of us entered into an argument, a war, a revolutionary war, and then about 40,000 were expelled out of the United States and landed into our territory. And so historically, they came and settled among us, hoping to displace the Acadian society and somehow displace the Indigenous cultures. And so these kind of attitudes towards the less equal peoples, darker people, blacks in one extreme and brown people in the other extreme, were treated differently. And so in this treatment, the whole ideology of racism started to form. And today I am talking about how are we going to move forward with that kind of a history. And the TRC, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, came up with 94 calls to action in terms of reconciling our people to whoever else is here living among us. And one of the initial steps that brought forward the notion of how do we fix things. In British Columbia, Dr. Mary Ellen Turpel was given the task to review what's going on in racism in the healthcare system in British Columbia. And one of the things that I want to share is something that she wrote and presented in the report about racism. Racism is the belief that a group of people are inferior based on the color of their skin or cultural background. This belief drives discriminatory behavior and practices such as negative racial profiling and policies that oppress, ignore, or treat racialized groups as less than non-racialized groups. The result is substantive inequity where members of racialized and culturally distinct peoples, such as Indigenous peoples, do not receive the services they require or to enjoy equitable opportunities or outcomes with other citizens from non-racialized groups. This is systemic racism, wherever acceptance of these discriminatory and prejudicial practices are normalized across our society in public services and institutions. So on that note, I want to end off by saying that our people, we have always recognized our diversity, our different languages among our Indigenous cultural groups. And I think this is something that we should learn from our Indigenous people, is we need to rise above that and treat each other as brothers and sisters of one human family. And I think we need to move forward in friendship by sharing our food, by doing ceremony, engaging in devotion and commitment to one another. And I leave it at that. I hope we all move forward in this direction. Well, thank you.